helping people heal. What does it do? What's in celery juice? So that's the whole thing they're going to talk about. And everybody's always asking, and ever since the video, the Dream On video, ever since all of that, people are wondering, like, what juicer are you using? What do I do? Do I need a juicer? Do I not need a juicer? So I got a juicer right here, the Omega Juicer. I'm going to talk about that a little bit too, why I like it, why I use it. So that's really cool. So, I mean, we got lots to cover, but I'm going to be juicing celery right here, talk about the benefits. Like, how come it's getting people better? Like, what's up with that? And, you know, like, you can be doing all this stuff for yourself, all this great stuff. You're on this best diet out there. You're trying all these supplements everybody keeps on throwing at you in different places. You're doing all the things you're doing. You're seeing your 10 doctors. You're seeing your 5 doctors. But all of a sudden, you bring celery juice in therapeutically, properly bring it in, and the needle starts moving. You start getting better. Things start just disappearing. Why is that? Why is that happening? And you know what's really funny? By the way, if you guys are just getting on here, I'm juicing celery. So that's one thing right there. So I'm doing that. And I'm going to be talking about the benefits of celery juice. By the way, there's a Black Friday sale. This juicer's on sale. I'll talk about that as well. It's a juicer I use. You know, in my opinion, it's the best one. Saves people money. I'm going to talk all about that. So, but you guys, like, the bottom line is, why are people getting better when they're bringing celery juice in therapeutically and just all this crap's going away? Acid reflux, bloating, everything, like skin's getting better in people, on just like different eczema, psoriasis, vitiligo, rosacea. Why does it move the needle? How come there's so many thousands and thousands of testimonials out there of people moving the needle and getting their lives back? Why is that? Someone has this juicer? I just saw that. I have the juicer, Chris, amazing. I'm so glad you have it. This is the MM900HDS. That's the one. You guys know I licensed my name to this one. I tell you all the time. The company contacted me and they said, look, we want to make the best juicer for celery. Plus, this is the best juicer for anything. You could put apples in here. You could put whatever else you want in here. You can juice spinach. You can juice greens. You can juice other things you like. But anyway, the point is, though, is that this juicer here is the one I'm using. It's the one I like. I'll tell you why. It's Black Friday. There's a sale on it. But here's the most important part of it right here, okay? And listen, if you got any juicer, use your juicer. If you got a juicer you like, use your juicer you like. Juice celery with that. The link is in the description for this model, though, the MM900HDS. But I'm going to just be straight out here. You know, nothing in our history of trends or history of popular health things that we've done, just years and decades, nothing has moved the needle like celery juice has. And you got to think about that for a little bit. Like, what is up with that? It's not just water, because it's not water. You know what I hear all the time? This is really funny. I hear this all the time, okay? It's like when I just did that TikTok video and of juicing celery and all that. I hear this all the time. It's just water. You can get better just on water. The celery juices, that's all it is. That's funny, because if you fill a fish tank with celery juice, all the fish are going to die. You know why? Do you know why all the fish are going to die in a fish tank when you just make it all celery juice and you have all your fish swimming in there and they're swimming in just celery juice? Do you know why? Because it's not water. That's why. Celery juice is not water. That's why. Okay? And it's something more special, something more powerful than that. Nancy says, I feel much better when I drink celery juice. Incredible. Sharon says, celery juice for sure moved my needle for the win. Right? I mean, and there's thousands and tens of thousands of testimonials. And you got to think about that. Like, you know, I mean, nothing has done that out there in the world. Nothing has done that. Collagen hasn't. You can have lupus, and collagen doesn't change that. Doesn't help you with your lupus symptoms. You can have multiple sclerosis, and collagen doesn't. That's just one thing. There's so many different things out there that are popular, but they don't move the needle. And yet celery juice has, like nothing has. And it's one of the medical meme tools. It's a whole thing. It's so incredible when you think about it. So if you guys just got on here, I'm juicing celery. This is the juicer I use, letting you know you don't have to use this juicer. You can use a juicer you already have that you like and love. Just use it. I don't care. Just use it. But if you don't have a juicer, it's Black Friday. This is the Black Friday sale at Omega. The link is in the description, letting you know I've licensed my name to this model so you guys know what's up. They knocked on my door a while back and they said, look, we want to use your name because we want to make this thing into something that actually changes people's lives. And there's a little adapter on here, which is incredible, that squeezes almost every last drop out of celery, you know, the whole bit. So the bottom line is, you guys, you need to know something, that when it comes down to healing, what are the tools we can use out there? Where are they? You know, what's going on? And you got people out there that they don't know about celery juice yet. And they're sitting there and the needle's not moving for them. They can't get out of that rut. They're trying all these different things. They're seeing all these different people and they can't get to where they need to be. And, you know, when it comes down to it, it matters. It matters when we find something that works. It matters when we find something that changes our lives. And celery juice has done that just for so many people. You know, my favorite thing is, you guys, and I'm going to juice some celery right now and talk about it. You know, my favorite thing is, which is really funny, is people will be like, oh, that's just a crock. Celery juice is just, where's the data? It's, you know, it's placebo. First of all, I got to tell you something. If placebo worked, then no one would be sick. Not one of you. No one you know would ever be sick in a million years. All they would have to do is go see their doctor, and their doctor give them a sugar pill and say, this will fix you. Here's a sugar pill. And all their problems will go away. Their MS, their RA, their autoimmune, their Hashimoto's, their eczema, their psoriasis, their vitiligo would all go away. All you have to do is just give somebody a sugar pill and tell them it's going to fix their vitiligo, and it should all disappear. So when you hear that really silly placebo talk, you got to kind of like, you got to think about that one for a little bit. Okay, placebo doesn't work. It never did. What works are things that work. So the only thing that works are things that can actually work. And look, Darcy Lee, drinking celery juice for 4 years now, IBS is gone. So grateful. Well, that's incredible. Sarah Dredge, my sister Lorraine L, put me on to you and celery juice. I'm loving it and feeling a great boost. I find I'm craving it now. Incredible. You know, that's so amazing. So incredible when I think about it. And so it really has changed people's lives. You guys know, you're seeing it. And so, I mean, so when you hear out there somebody say, oh, it's all water, that's funny because it's not all water. Or someone says it's just placebo. That's another funny one too, because placebo doesn't fix anybody. It never did. So we know that, right? But what's amazing is people I've known for 35 plus years, when they get stuck and they need to move forward, man, I've seen people out there, they're doing everything under the sun. They're eating roots. They're eating dirt. They're drinking grass juice. They're doing everything. They're in clinics all the way across the board. Europe to United States to South America. They're just everywhere under the sun and spending thousands and thousands of dollars. And all of a sudden, they stumble across, hey, what medical medium, juice some celery, let me try that. And then the needle starts moving. They're like, why am I starting to improve when I was just stuck? And that's what's incredible about it. When you have healing tools that actually work, that actually really help people, it's really amazing. And you can have two groups of people, right? You can have a couple of groups of people. You can have one group of one person that doesn't do anything for their health at all, nothing, and they drink celery juice, and it helps move the needle. And you can have somebody who does everything for their health, everything. They're doing all kinds of stuff for their health, and not moving the needle. And they bring in celery juice, and it changes it. So it's really incredible what happens. You guys, I'll try to answer a couple questions too while I'm here. And if you do it right, that's when it counts. That's when it counts. And I've talked about that in the celery juice book that I put out a while back. I talk about that in Cleanse to Heal, but you guys know the celery juice book right there, the medical medium celery juice book. And I talk about all the information in there on how celery juice helps us, why it helps us, why it changes our lives, and what's in it. And I'll talk about that a little bit. So let's do a little juicing. I'm excited. So, the bottom line is, what is this doing, this herb? First of all, it's an herb. So it's herbal medicine. Herbal medicine's a whole nother game. Okay? And this is herbal medicine that you can drink a lot of. So it's not like this root from the Amazon that you got to be cautious to how much you consume in hopes that you're going to do some healing, right? This is herbal medicine, an herb that you can consume a lot of and use it therapeutically. That's what's incredible all on its own. Manjula says, can you use this juicer for other vegetables besides celery juice? So, absolutely. Of course you can. And it juices those incredibly. That's the whole point. It's a juicer for other things. Any kind of vegetables, any kind of fruits. It's a juicer for that. And that's what's amazing. It's just that this model also has this incredible device on the end of it that makes it so you can squeeze as much juice as you possibly can out of celery. And that's what I love about it. In my opinion, it's the best one. You know, I've gotten every juicer out there. And for the price point, it's incredible. So right now it's $60 off. It's Black Friday sale. The link is in the description for this juicer. It's a great time to take advantage of a healing tool that will pay for itself. This one's the MM900HDS. So I'm all about, will something that I buy pay for itself? That's what I'm about. Or is something that I'm gonna buy gonna cost me money? Am I gonna buy a car, right? Am I gonna buy a car that I gotta keep on fixing all the time and I'm dumping money in all the time? Now I gotta get a new set of tires. Now I gotta get a new set of brakes right off the running. And all of a sudden you're spending all this money. With this juicer, it's like you're buying celery, okay? And celery gets pricey at certain times of the year. It can get a little pricey, right? It could cost a little bit more. And people say, well, it's expensive to juice that much celery. It's actually not, because of what it does for you. It's incredible on that level. But here's the thing. If you're one of those, if you're concerned about it costing like more, like you're saying, well, that's a head of celery is 99 cents, or a head of celery is $1.99, or whatever it is in whatever grocery store or wherever you are in the world. The point is that when you're squeezing the juice out of it, you're saving money, and that's the key. Like for me, I've juiced celery for 30 plus years, right? And what I noticed when I use this juicer so far, because I'm doing a little experiment with that, like how much money can I save? And when I'm juicing celery with this machine every day, because I juice a lot, so I do 32 ounces minimum every single day. I got a pile of celery right here. You guys see that right there. But I do 32 ounces minimum each day. That's what I do, right? So I want to know, am I saving money? And it turns out I am. That's what's incredible. I'm squeezing more juice out of the celery that goes through this machine than I've done in any machine. I got a garage filled with machines, like every company out there. And this is the one I use, so this is the one I back. It's like, this is the one I back. But the point is when you're buying half the celery that you would normally buy, or a fraction of what you would normally buy for your juice, that alone pays for the juicer. So by the end of the year, you're like, well, I just saved all that money that could buy a whole bunch of juicers. You know? And it's kind of like that. It's really cool. Can you use this juicer for other veggies? That question I answered earlier? Yeah, you can. And that's what's amazing. So let's talk about something really cool here. If you see, this is what I wanted to show you guys about this juicer I really love. Okay? I almost have a full container here. And the amount of pulp is a lot less. It's like dry too. It's like it's compressed and it's dry. So that's what's really cool, and I'll show you how that works. And look, if you guys got a juicer at home, I know people that got a blender, they blend it and they strain it through a cheesecloth. I'm all for that. Totally do that. You don't have to get this juicer, it's not it. Use the juicer that you have. Totally. You can totally do that. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips that are really good. I'm going to shut this off for a second. And I'm going to grab myself a glass right here. So when I look at how much pulp is in here, okay? This is unbelievable. That's it. A little string, okay? And I wanted to show you this. It's dry. I mean, it's dry. You can't find celery juice at the bottom of this. You can't. Look how dry. It's so dry. It's like a little piece of rope. And it's not like all this pulp and all this, you know, pulp and fiber and leftover. It's a little stringy rope that's dry to the bone. And where did all the juice go? Right? I hardly used any celery, and the money saved, in my opinion, it's insane. So that's what I really love about this model. But it's this model, though. You know, it's not like another model, though. You know, it's this model at Omega. It's the MM900HDS. But I wanted to show you guys because I feel kind of like guilty knowing, knowing that I'm getting so much celery juice and a lot of you guys aren't, and I feel bad. So I have to at least let you know in case you ever do down the road, maybe next year, 2 years from now, 6 months from now, you actually, you know, get the juicer or something. But you can use the juicer you have. You can use it forever. It's fine, the juicer you have. But I feel like if I don't tell you that you can have this experience where I just have this is so dry. It's unbelievable. And this experience of only having this much in your container that's dry to the bone and then have all this juice. It's like, it's just something to think about. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. Don't add water. So let's talk about this a little bit. If you juice your celery juice, look, I have this big container and that is all I have for pulp left over, and it's dry to the bone. It's in my fingertips. It's like, what the heck when you think about that, you know? And at the same time, you can juice any vegetable and anything you want in this juicer. That's what's really cool. So don't add water to your celery juice. If you blend it in a blender, if this is how you do it, right? If you juice your celery juice in a blender, don't add water, okay? Just blend it and let it mush up there and blend and let it get shredded up in there, and then until you're ready, and then dump that into a cheesecloth and squeeze it out and do it that way. But don't add water. If you add water, it doesn't work. Celery juice won't work. You can't use it therapeutically. It'll still give you some nutrition for sure. Like your celery juice, if you add water to it or ice cubes or lemon to it, will still give you nutrition, but it won't do the magic that's changing the lives of millions around the world right now. I mean, I would estimate over 300 million people in the world right now and more are drinking it therapeutically. And I know a lot, they kind of miss the boat on it. They'll throw lemon in there. They'll put water in there. They'll put ice cubes in there. They'll juice other things in there, but they'll still call it their celery juice. But it's not going to work like really therapeutically, like move the needle like it needs to move. Deborah Cole, is it on sale for Black Friday? Yes, totally on. Or I think I originally used a different juicer for about 4 months, but then bought this one when my old one broke. In the end, I saved money because one bag or 2.5 pounds of celery makes around 32 ounces, but would have to use 1.5 bags, with my old juicer to make 32 ounces. So you're saying you're doing less, you're using less. So that's amazing. Okay, and that's incredible. I mean, I can tell you with the MM900, it's less. So I'm just making sure I got that right. So you saved money. Incredible. With the new juicer. Amazing. Amazing. That's the way. And you know what? It's happening for me. It's just happening for me too. But like I said, I feel like if I don't tell you guys, especially when there's a sale, it's like, I want you to be able to take advantage of this down the road and be able to order anytime and be able to get that experience. Like, this is dry. So dry, it's ridiculous. And that's what's incredible. So I have all this juice right here. So I'm gonna pour it in. I still got leftover. This is I'm gonna put this over here. Still got left over in that container, but I didn't have my celery juice yet today, so I'm really excited about this. But this is a cold pressed juicer too. A lot of people be like, okay, there's a question, Nina, what about celery powder? No, terrible. That celery powder is a scam for sure. And it just can't do anything. And I talk about it in the celery juice book. So the medical medium celery juice book, I talk about it in here. So just letting you know, so that's a medical medium celery juice book. And the subtitle is incredible because it says the most powerful medicine of our time, healing millions worldwide. And guess what? Fact. Fact. Already happened all these years. So it's a great thing to see when people are getting their lives back. It's a beautiful thing. And celery powder, it doesn't do anything. So you're putting just dead powder, right in some water, which you're not supposed to do. So you're not supposed to add water to celery juice. Well, if you're going to rehydrate celery juice from a powder and you add water, it's not going to be the same thing. And I'll tell you why. This is in its living, fresh form. And the water is connected to the sodium cluster salts right now in it alive. And it's in here doing its thing. It's all connected. It's all attached to itself. The sodium cluster salts are suspended in the living water, but you can't kill it. You can't just kill it like that and turn it into powder and then expect to add water to it and think the same thing's going to happen. That's like throwing something in the blender. That's like throwing something in a food processor and expecting to put it back together after it's been chopped up and diced up. It doesn't work. So I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, strain it. So Robert, definitely strain it. That's what I do. You want to strain it. You want to take a strainer, even though you're juicing it here, it's already being juiced, you still want to strain it. So when I was pouring it in here, I was straining it. That's what I was doing right here. Of course, I just spilled a little. But yeah, there you go. Melina, Vimergy's Celery Force has no celery in it. No, that's actually for an incredible supplement for all kinds of stuff. That's not, It's called Celery Force, but there's no celery in there. You can actually look into it at vimergy.com. It's a wonderful supplement. That's not celery powder. That's not what that is. Anyway, you guys, so I'll talk a little bit more about this. And let's talk about benefits, celery juice benefits. What happens when you're drinking this? Why does it even work? Why is it helping people? What's going on with that? That's the question there. So here's what happens with celery juice. There's something in here called sodium cluster salts. That's not salt. It's not the same thing. Salt can't do what this does. This is a subgroup of sodium, and it's suspended in living water, but it's a subgroup of sodium that actually interferes with pathogens. So if you have Epstein-Barr, if you have Streptococcus in your system, if you have anything, if you have Hashimoto's, MS, lupus, RA, chronic fatigue syndrome, tingles and numbness, aches and pains that are all mysterious, jaw pain, neck pain, back pain, if you have restless leg syndrome, insomnia, depression, anxiety, eczema, psoriasis, skin problems, tics and spasms, twitches, dizziness, ringing in the ears, floaters in the eyes, all these viral symptoms. If you have all these different viral symptoms and toxic heavy metal symptoms, the reason why people start to get their lives back when they're bringing this in as one of the tools, as one of them. I never said this is the only thing to do. This is just one of the powerful medical medium tools, right? But when this enters your body, something magical happens. To begin with, inside of us, we have a big mess going on inside of us, okay? We got rancid fats clinging to our intestinal tract. We got putrefied proteins clinging to the walls of our intestinal tract lining. It's harboring all kinds of bacteria. It's harboring all kinds of toxins. And when the celery juice enters and goes in, it goes into that first. It starts to knock out bugs that get behind SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, bugs that get behind acid reflux, bugs that cause all kinds of stomach bloating, stomach pain. If you're somebody that's worried about worms of any kind in your gut, it even goes after those. And that's the thing, when it's going down in, it's starting to dismantle the bad things. And it's starting to clean things up. If you were told you got parasites in your gut and that's why you're sick, whether it's right or wrong or whatever, this celery juice starts to work on it. If you were told you got bacteria in your gut and your microbiome's off and your gut's all in balance and you got bad bacteria and mold and yeast and fungus in your gut, the celery juice starts to work on that. And 1 ounce of celery juice isn't going to do that much. It's still good. It's still good, but it's not going to do as much. Like Melody says, what can I do for SIBO? I'm talking about SIBO right here. And the celery juice goes down in there and it starts to shock those bugs. Starts to basically electrify those bugs. Starts to move them out. Starts to weaken them. Starts to break down their membrane that keeps them strong. And then the celery juice goes down in and it finds its way into the liver. It goes into the hepatic portal vein. It finds its way into the liver, up into the liver. And then it starts to go after little buggies in there and starts to dismantle toxins, neutralize them. So one of my favorite benefits of celery juice, is it neutralizes poisons that have energy to them, meaning they're on a charge. Because poisons and toxins from toxic heavy metals and pesticides and herbicides and plastics and petroleum chemicals and nanotechnology that we breathe in, everything that we get exposed to has a charge to it. And the celery juice starts to neutralize that charge, turn it around. And that's what's amazing about it right there. It's one of the things it basically diffuses poisons and toxins, and at the same time starts to break down the bugs that are behind acne. So when you start drinking celery juice and your acne is starting to get better, that's because the streptococcus, the bacteria behind all the cystic acne that everybody has, is getting cleaned up from the celery juice. And so when celery juice gives somebody the runs, or gives somebody a little bit of diarrhea, or gives somebody something like that where it's loose stools, when celery juice does that, it's killing bacteria is what it's doing. So I always recommend you can reduce the dosage. You can do 8 ounces. You can do 6 ounces. You can do a little less. But eventually it goes away. That the runs or diarrhea or anything like that goes away eventually. And that's what happens. Because the celery juice ends up killing and cleaning up the very bacteria and any kind of yeast, any kind of mold, any kind of fungus that's in the way, cleans it up, shocks it out, gets it out of the system, so you can do a lower amount of celery juice. If you guys just got on here, this is the MM900HDS, and it's on sale right now because of Black Friday, just letting you guys know. I juiced all this, I used hardly any celery, and I made all this celery juice, and I just showed you guys, the pulp is dry to the bone. And it's just a little, look at that, that's all it is. That's the pulp. It's unbelievable when I think about that. I laugh every time I see that because I'm like, I'm blown away, really, how that works. Gabriel, celery juice helped all my family like nothing else. Drinking around 16 to 32 ounces every day since 2018. I wished I found it earlier to save my mom too. Thanks, Anthony. Gabriel, thanks for being here. I'm honored you're here. Amazing. 16 to 32 ounces. That is a beautiful thing. This is about 24 ounces, close to 25 ounces right here. And do it on an empty stomach in the morning. That's my favorite time to really help move the needle. Don't do coffee with it. Don't mix anything in it. Don't have breakfast right with it. Try to keep a distance between it. I've talked about that many times. You guys, I think someone asked about the juicer I saw. Go up there in the comments. This is it right here, the Omega, O-M-E-G-A. Link is in the description. But this model is the MM900HDS. This has got you can use this for anything. You can juice anything with this thing. You know, like all the vegetables and all the fruits and greens. You could juice all of that. But it's got a special attachment, a device that makes it so the juice gets really squeezed out for celery and other things. So, Vesquez says, we're live, by the way, you guys. We're live right now. Vesquez Surfing says, I got horrible long-term gastritis and acid reflux from anti-inflammatories for my back. I tried everything to heal it and nothing worked. Celery juice healed it quickly. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. I mean, it is. It's incredible. And there's tens of thousands of testimonials for celery juice changing things. Sandra says, how much time in between? Well, as I talk about in Cleanse to Heal, and I talk about in the celery juice book, the distance I like is 20 minutes to 30 minutes, 15 minutes. The minimum would be the minimum. I would do like what I do in the morning is I do lemon water in the morning, and then lemon water. I do that first, give it a little time. I do 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water in the morning. First thing is what I do, right? But I keep that separate from the celery juice. The celery juice comes later. I wait a half an hour. So I wait 30 minutes, but you could wait 15 to 30 minutes after you had your lemon water, and then you can do your celery juice. Okay, so that's it right there. So you guys, this is incredible. Got my celery juice right here. I had to share that with you. It's a Black Friday sale. Link is in the description. If you already have a juicer and you like it, keep it. Do your juicing. I just want you to know, maybe in the future, this is something down the road when your juicer breaks or something happens. At least you know there's this option that will save you money and like really squeeze the juice out. Links in the description. MM900HDS. I'm going to Instagram now, so heading to Instagram Live right from here. and I'm going to tell everybody about this, juice some more celery and all that. You guys, then after that, I'm going to TikTok. Anyway, you guys are incredible. Love it. Deb says feeling amazing. Incredible. That's good news. I love you guys. Take care.